greater dependence on the government. One of the dirty secrets of the American healthcare system is the incestuous relationship between the Food and Drug Administration and the pharmaceutical companies. Most of the lawyers in the FDA have worked for the drug companies, and most of the drug company lawyers got their start in the FDA. There's a revolving door of lawyers between them. Another dirty secret of the healthcare industry is that drugs don't cure disease. Other than antibiotics, drugs just treat symptoms. In some cases, they can really help, but drugs nearly kill 800,000 people every year. That's like 265 terrorist attacks, the size of 9/11 every year. Many of those drugs were allowed into the market by the FDA without a glance. The drugs didn't have the proven safety record required by law, but the FDA turned a blind eye. Vioxx, the supposed safe pain drug, caused heart attacks and killed hundreds, and the FDA knew it. The latest potentially fatal drug, Avandia, has killed hundreds as well, and the FDA knew it wasn't safe. Since drugs don't cure disease, you may have to take them indefinitely to keep the symptoms at bay. Modern medicine does not know how to cure much of anything, unless it's an infection, and thanks to doctors overprescribing antibiotics, many bugs are now antibiotic resistant. So we now have an industry that's more about disease maintenance than cure. With the danger inherent in drugs, we're trading symptoms for side effects, and we're becoming dependent on an industry that's even more in bed with the government than the insurance companies. Remember, always follow the money trail on whatever government forces upon you to learn what's really behind it. And with this law, the money flows straight to the drug companies. It's no wonder their stocks went up when it passed. A growing police state. Another clear threat to our liberty is the new authority granted to the IRS. According to Devin Dwyer of ABC News, the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act authorizes the IRS to collect penalties imposed on individuals for not having health insurance and on companies for not offering it when the mandates take effect in 2014. Republicans on the House Ways and Means Committee warned that as many as 16,500 new IRS auditors and investigators, or 17% of the agency's current workforce, could be needed to administer and enforce new health insurance rules under the law. That could mean more audits, confiscated refunds, and incursions into details of individuals' health insurance plans, all at a cost of up to $10 billion over 10 years, they said in a report published last week. The IRS, of course, tries to downplay its role. IRS Commissioner Douglas Schuman said, "I think there have been some misconceptions out there, and that taxpayers have nothing to fear. But Americans already fear the IRS. According to the GOP, the bill gives the IRS many new powers and tasks the IRS with responsibility to enforce the mandates on individuals to purchase insurance the government deems acceptable, as well as employer mandates to provide insurance the government deems affordable. In short, the Democrats' bill will give the IRS sweeping new powers and require the IRS to become a much more intrusive force in every American's life." Just how intrusive will the IRS be? An IRS collections officer with 25 years of experience testified anonymously at a Senate hearing. He said the Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which is supposed to give you rights before the IRS and tame IRS abuses, had very little effect on the conduct of the IRS. The Taxpayer Bill of Rights is very positive, but who is going to enforce this for the taxpayer? If you're going to sue the IRS, it'll take $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. And Phoenix tax lawyer Bob Kamen told James Bovard of the Freeman, "The taxpayer rights provision of the Internal Revenue Code are like the civil rights provisions of the former Soviet Union's constitution. On paper, they tell a wonderful story. In practice, for many taxpayers, there is no effective protection against government abuse. So you have nothing to fear, nothing but a growing police state in the presence of an ever-expanding fascist government.